Greetings, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Another Brick in the Mall. I'm Battery H, and welcome indeed as we get back to our poor little grocery store here. It's a general grocery, and I figured out what I was doing wrong. Yes, where I made my mistake. My mistake is that fresh fruits and vegetables go on tables, not on shelves. So we're going to add a couple of them, but we also have to get another cashier, I think, because we're losing out on stuff. And if we do that, what I think we're going to do is add some hours to the bit, and we'll overlap them in the middle of the day. That is kind of where our workforce and our sales go. Kind of early on, there's a rush, and then late, there's a rush. So if we start this one an hour or so after, 2 hours after, and we can run a couple hours later in the day, that might be perfect. So let's hire ourselves another cashier. Something that has cashier experience is good, but speed, reliability, and sociability are important. Speed, patience, and sociability. Uh, And then we can get the person's traits if we do that, and we could ban that person from applying for jobs. I don't see why I would want to do that. They're fast, they're good, um, all that sort of thing. So we're going to hire Gloria Wall at $25, and we're going to put her in there. And we're going to set her starting hour at 11 o'clock. And that will extend our hours to 1800. Yeah. So that means we go till 6 p.m. And 10 hours to 1900. There we go. That's perfect. Okay. And we also need to build some tables. And we're going to want those tables over here, I suspect. Right? Yep. Let's get those in. And we'll speed up time a little bit. We'll start to get some fresh fruits and vegetables in here. Product for sale foods. I want fresh fruits. Actually, I want fresh vegetables here. I'm going to put some nuts over here, and I'm going to build one more for my fruits. Certainly not a clothes rack. And then we can have some fresh bread in the back later on. We're researching sales monitoring. Have we gotten our frozen foods yet? Yes, we do. We do have frozen foods. So we get to get our frozen food aisle next. Is our next best up. So let's start to get and building some of them as well, right? So we can't do beer yet, but we can do ice cream. So what do we have over here? We have go back to select, and we'll take a look and see what we've got. Milk, dairy, yogurt, butter. We need to put some eggs in over here, I suspect. So let's get that up. And then we will have the frozen foods aisle. We need to put our eggs in there. We could even do fresh fish over here. But I want to get our frozen foods here. So frozen vegetables, frozen pizza, microwave meals, frozen waffles up front, of course. You always want to make sure that they can get their frozen vegetables. Of course, they're frozen pizzas because what would you expect there to be less? And finally over here, we're going to get some ice cream. Okay. And that's going to take our stock boil a little bit. So I'm going to want to put 2 more of these things in and really set ourselves up for something less than success, right? Fresh fish. And here's our fresh meat. And that should give everybody a lot of what they want right from a small town grocery store, which means our sales should get and start showing an actual profit. That's what I'm hoping for, at least. If we can get some profit going here, then we can do that. Otherwise, I'm probably going to have to let one of my sales researcher or my research people go and let them scale back on the sales monitoring. But I want to start developing a profit. I don't want to get too much below 100,000 for certain. And we could speed time up a little bit faster. So I want to keep an eye on the parking spaces here. We may not have enough. Um, we've got a total of 8 customer slots. There's our delivery spot. As you can see, our poor stock boy is hurrying as quickly as he can to stock everything we need when we've got to get the fresh stuff up and running. As well as keep the shelves stocked as all the people start to pour in. Well, we're certainly not losing sales due to a lack of people. We may be losing sales due to a lack of parking. Well, there's $10,000 for an objective 20 types of stuff, so I think a little more customer parking is in order. And of course, we'll need to extend our sidewalk a little bit as well. Now, as Gloria starts to work and as Sophia starts to work, as their cashier skills get better, right? They'll get faster, so that's a good thing. And combine that with their speed, they'll be able to handle more people an hour. The problem is that when one of these goes off to work, right, and it gets to the end of the day, they all stop in her line. Okay, I need to look at those again because manage general groceries. I need to look at my staff. Okay, what's going on here? That one's just starting to go nuts here. Um, 11 to 1900. This one is 10 to 2000. Okay. So that's 10-hour run. So I want 2 9-hour shifts, right? I want one of the. Actually, I want to do this. I want to go from 8 to 18. So let's staff it up. Our store clerk should come in at 7. Work a 10-hour day to. And that means that there's nothing stocked in the last hour of the day. Okay, that's good. Our first cashier comes in at 10. Our second cashier comes in at 8 so that we're there when they open, right? One cashier when we're open, and works a 9-hour day. Yeah, that's it. And that covers our peak period really, really well, I think. Or should cover our peak period really, really well. There we go. Now it's better. Now, in our maintenance center, what's our janitor working? I kind of want him coming in a little bit later and working later at night, so that yeah, so that Carol there works a little bit in the evenings and kind of gets there when has a chance to go through and do the floors of this place when it's all done. That makes sense. Okay, now our builders are on site, so anything we might need is good there. All right, our grocery stores are up. Queues full. Only two occurrences of that. 147 missed opportunities due to parking. That means we could have a whole bunch more people here. People are looking for electronics in appliance stores, bookstores, and bars. And as you can see, we're filling up. We're filling up without filling up the cars. Um, Interesting. And while we're not break even point yet, we're much closer. And wow, did I? Oh, I didn't realize I had done that in Brickhouse. I had gone fancy on us, hadn't I? Okay. One more customer parking wouldn't hurt. Yeah, floor type 13. Okay, very good. That might be enough to get us over the hump and into the positive, which would be really, really good if we get in the green. Now, see, you can see early on we start to develop that group of people getting really heavy early. So only 2 missed opportunities due to high Q. Sales monitoring is done. Yay for us. Um, Night hours, alcohol, license, fitness center, logistics gets bigger things. Cleaning technology gives us floor scrubbers. Clothing supplier might not be a bad thing to get in there next. Media supplier, tools, hand tools, power tools, luxury stuff. We can also get self-checkout soon. So let's slow down and see what people are interested in. They want a fish shop. A store with over 50% fresh fish. A non-retail electronics and appliance store. Interesting. What's coming up here? Halloween, major book release, start of winter. Christmas season, action figures. So toy stores become big. Um, I'm thinking we get our clothing store next, actually. Um, it sounds kind of ridiculous that we don't have any food or eat places yet, but we don't have many places yet to shop. And we've got some food here, and to get a small clothing, general clothing store kind of thing over here might not be such a bad idea to begin with. Let us work our way out of that, and then we can start doing, get some basis stuff, because eventually over in the center area here is where we're going to start to plan our larger mall type bit. Right now we've got some small, inexpensive outline stores and that sort of thing. So yeah, not too much, a lot of variety, not too much specialization. Eventually we're going to get into more specialization, meeting higher level requirements. 500 total sales. Alright, let's see where we're at the end of the day here. Closing in, closing in. Have we made a profit? Not yet, not yet, not yet, not yet. Nope. We came close. 8 to 6, the old-fashioned grocery store hours. Do you remember that? I remember that. I remember when grocery stores were open for half days on Saturdays and not at all on Sundays. That's right, kiddies. That's just the way we rolled. So I can't say we're in the black just yet, but we have managed to get some fresh goodies out on the field, and we're doing that pretty well. So I think our next bit is to start blocking our way off for a clothing store here. So let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at some foundation time. We're going to give ourselves a little bit of space here. Um, we're nowhere close yet ready for having these things, but I would like to have the ability to do them quite ready to go. a wall built there. And some staff doors. And a couple of checkout counters. So the table will actually hold things like, I think, right? Maybe not. Maybe just general shelves. So shoes go on the shelves. We'll see underwear and lingerie on shelves. So we're going to need some of those. We're going to need clothes racks, which are going to have t-shirts, pants, dresses, shirts. So 6 or so of them. 6 clothing racks or so here. And then that will be ready to go sometime in the next couple of days when we decide or have learned enough to build ourselves an actual clothing empire. And we've got room for a lot more stuff, yes, so we'll probably end up doubling up the number of clothes racks we have. Or we could stick another cashier there if it gets to be gapish popular, right? I really have no idea what the popular stores are these days. But getting a clothing store will be good for us and allow us to expand our opportunities and do some other things. But that's going to be all for this episode. Remember, folks, if you've enjoyed the program, please consider liking, subscribing, uh, leave a comment. Those all help out the stream. Tell your friends we're here. I'm Battery H. This is another brick in the wall. Be kind to everybody out there.